everybody, and welcome to the Cleveland Browns NFL schedule release show here on the Fanatical Elves. I'm John, that's Steve. We are here to bring you all the latest and greatest as the Brownies and the rest of the NFL gets ready to release their schedule. The schedule seems like it's been released by various sources. Steve, you've got some information there that you've been tracking everything today, and I know people have been speculating. It's a matter of moments that people will start knowing for a fact that schedule is true. But how you doing tonight, Steve?
Good, John. How are you?
Well, you know, my eye is caught to the Cavaliers because the Cavaliers are down like 4,000 players, but they still are managing to beat the Celtics. I think I don't have the game on now. I put on the NFL Network, but we're not going to show it here live because we got in trouble the last time we did that. So
yes, I am in a undisclosed location in Western North Carolina. I had to escape the cicadas in Nashville. There are none here, thank goodness. They were getting pretty loud and pretty rambunctious last week.
Oh boy.
They're going to get even worse this next week because we got into the low 50s at night and it kind of slowed them down.
Yes.
But this week in Nashville and next week 80s. So that ought to fire them up.
Oh boy.
Nothing worse than the 13-year cicada, except the 17-year cicada. God, they're everywhere.
Well, you've had up here in Columbus, we've been having like deluges of rainstorms.
In Nashville too.
Yeah, it's just been
we got nailed yesterday.
Yeah, I've been watching you because I know that you guys are down there, both you and Jarrell. So, since I'm I'm a weather geek as well. So, all right.
As you get older, the Weather Channel becomes the MTV of our generation.
And I had that on earlier. Yes.
There you go.
It was music to our ears as we were eating dinner. Just have that little bit of background. What was her name? Jackie. What her first name's Jackie. She does the evening show with the blonde hair. Wore a nice little. It was an interesting show. Okay, let's talk about the NFL schedule. It's going to be out here any second now. We know for a fact that the Brownies are opening the season against the Dallas Cowboys. That was released by the NFL. Super excited about that. My wife, lovely Laura Jean, and I will be attending that opening week 1 game. We've got season tickets, and Laura likes to go to a game that's warm weather, and
there you go.
Hopefully will be the fact. Now, several years ago, we went to the opening game when they played the Pittsburgh Squealers, and it was a rainy, like 50-degree, 60-degree drizzly day, and that wasn't much fun. But hopefully the weather will be good. Looking forward to that. I think it's a really good matchup for the Browns to open up the season. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, it's going to be a national TV game. Tom Brady's making his announcing debut.
Yeah.
So, and Fox is going to play it up all week because it's Tom Brady. So yeah, I love the spotlight. Let's do it. Catch the Cowboys early. A lot of key matchups.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper versus his old team. David Njoku versus Micah Parsons. They've been bantering all summer. I mean, all off season. So let's do it. I am going to be intrigued to see how the new defensive line does against that the offensive line for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The last time they played was 2020 in Dallas, and the Browns scored a ton of points. So did the Cowboys, but they hung on and won. And the last time Deshaun Watson played the Cowboys, Texans won 19-16.
Was that game okay? What year was that?
I think it was either 2019 or I believe it was 2019.
Okay.
Don't hold my feet to the fire.
He had it was funny listening to. They were talking about other quarterbacks last night, and Kirk Cousins, somebody was on the NFL Network or ESPN was talking about how you can almost pencil in for Kirk Cousins 4,500 yards passing. Now we don't see that for Deshaun Watson. He did have that kind of in that 2019 season, right? He was up there in that 4,000.
He led the league in completions and I believe yardage.
Yeah,
that year. So yeah.
Okay, I don't know if this is official, but it's kind of. I'm getting.
No, there's my ESPN sounder on my phone.
There we go. Yeah, here we go. I'm seeing different ones popping up. So, folks, we're bringing this to you live. If you want to know what the NFL and the Browns schedule is,
we've got a pretty good idea. At Ozzy, he was accurate last year with the Browns schedule, and I want to see how accurate he is this year.
He is accurate.
He is. Nailed it.
He nailed it.
Awesome. That means a week 10 bye. I love it.
Yep. Week 10 bye. We open up against the Cowboys. We travel to the Jaguars. We have a home game against the Giants. We then travel 3 straight weeks to the Raiders, the Commanders, and the Eagles.
And then we get 3 straight home games.
We get 3 straight home games. Then the bye.
Bengals, Ravens, Chargers.
Yes.
And then the bye week. Then at Saints.
Yep.
And then we start last 6 games, 4 of them on primetime.
Yes, it looks like
awesome.
I'm seeing that for right now. We're 2 of those. Let's see here.
2 Thursday nights, a Monday night, and a Sunday night.
Yes, Ozzy is out here texting. I'd like to see it from Mary Kay because Mary Kay knows all. But Ozzy, man, whoever this Ozzy guy is, tell us a little bit about your buddy Ozzy.
He's a Canadian. You can always trust a Canadian to be unbiased. But if you go to his X account, Twitter account, the first thing you see is Vontae Mack, no matter what.
Love that. So they are on Sunday Night Football, the last game of the last week 17. They will play the Dolphins on December 29th after Christmas. It will be a home game, Christmas holiday season. What a great time. Probably be bone chilling late December. That'll be fun for Browns fans. Let's just start looking at if you see anything there. I noticed with the schedule when you released it earlier, I thought that it's interesting that they have 3 away games followed by 3 straight home games.
I thought that was kind of weird too.
Yeah, definitely.
But at Raiders, at Commanders, okay, Gardner Minshew and a rookie. And then they go at Eagles. That's going to be a tough game, week 6. But then you get Bengals, Ravens, Chargers at home before the bye. I like that.
Yes.
I do. Then you come out of the bye, go to the Saints. Shane Rattler will probably be your quarterback down in New Orleans. Then you host the Steelers on Thursday night, at Broncos at Monday night. Mm-hmm. Oh, that Bo Nix match, Deshaun Watson, Bo Nix matchup. Then you're at the Steelers, host the Chiefs, the Taylor Swift game if they're still dating, and then at Bengals, host the Dolphins on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah,
God, I can't remember the last time they were on Sunday Night Football.
Well, it's interesting.
And at the Ravens, which in my blog I did the other day, I kind of predicted that. I said they would end at a divisional opponent. I kind of thought maybe Steelers, and I thought maybe the Ravens.
Yeah.
But since they finished 1-2 in the AFC last year, it makes sense that it would be the Ravens.
Well, and I don't know, like speculation's been all day on these schedules, and it just seems like some folks have been saying how the latter part of the schedule is tough, but I'm like, I'm looking at, I think the latter part of the season might be easier to me. I don't know. I mean, I know there's some big name teams there, but I'm looking at, you've got this home game against the Squealers on Thursday night. I'm going to pencil that in as a win. You go at Broncos, and that's a Monday night game. That's going to be tough. You're going back out there to Denver, but again, week 13 matchup. We don't know who's going to be healthy at that point. But you come back, you play the Squealers again. Then you got a home game against Chiefs. That's going to be one of those week 15 sort of matchups that it's like, eh. But then you go back to play the Bengals on Thursday night down in Cincinnati, but then you return. You get a whole nother week after Christmas, so you can rest up and then finish against the Dolphins and then go to the Ravens. And that game will be very important, probably, in the whole playoff picture. It might be for the division, right, Steve?
Could be. Looking at the times, they've got 2 afternoon games, of course, the Cowboy game.
Yeah.
And the Raider game. The rest are all noon until you get to the prime time. And, of course, the Baltimore game is to be announced.
Okay.
So hopefully by that time, the Browns will have wrapped up the division and the Ravens will have wrapped up a wild card spot. So everybody gets their rest.
Well, I'm just retweeting some stuff out right now. So hold on one second here. All right, so I know you don't like to do any sort of early predictions here, but I'd like to kind of walk through. I'd like to kind of walk through the games maybe and get your thoughts on each.
Well,
maybe
I'll break it down in quarters.
Okay,
that's what I usually do. You look at the first 4 games last year. I think after the first 5, the Browns were 3-2. I believe.
Yeah.
And with all the quarterback problems that we had, the stupid DTR game and having to play the, PJ Walker against the 49ers and all that crap. And then we had that back-to-back West Coast games, which the Browns asked for. And I always thought that was crazy. Never asked for something like that. That's stupid. But anyway, looking at the first 4 games, they catch the Cowboys early, catch the Jags early.
Yep.
Giants have no offensive line. At Raiders, Gardner Minshew. Okay, then you got the next 4. Commanders, rookie quarterback. Eagles game will be tough.
Yes.
Very tough. And then you get the Bengals and the Ravens at home. So, and then you got Chargers by Saints. And like you said, we host the Steelers on Thursday night after the Saints. So, if they are healthy and in a good position by week 10, by the way, great bye week. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Hey, we also Cincinnati is.
You
enjoy. We hated it last year.
Yes.
Open. If they can get to the bye week in good health, the only really difficult game I see is that at Eagles game. Because
I agree.
A lot of people are talking up the Chargers. I ain't buying it until I see it.
Right.
Giants, like a terrible offensive line early. That really bothers me a little bit.
Okay.
Actor quarterback, like I said. Then you get the Bengals, Ravens at home. Yeah, I can see them going into the bye in good shape if they're healthy.
So now, do you have the times in your schedule? I just pulled up the Cleveland Browns website. Okay, so they open the season with the home game against the Cowboys. Late game, 4:30 or 4:25 start. That'll be nice for fans, and we'll just skip work on Monday.
And we'll get into.
You're breaking up a little bit, Steve, on your end, but down there in your undisclosed location.
You got me?
We have you. You're breaking up just a bit. So, but
lousy.
It's that internet in that undisclosed area. I know it's
so under wraps.
Yeah. Now they have a couple. They go down to Jacksonville Monday, 1:00 game. The Giants, also a 1:00 game. That game will be at home. Yep. Then they have a 4:25 game out there in Los Angeles or against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Right.
Man, it would be nice to get a win out there. That's a very winnable game. Then they come back and they play at the Washington Commanders. So you talk about they're at one part of the, they go to the West Coast pretty much, and then they come back to the East Coast, and then they go from Washington up to the Philadelphia Eagles. That's going to be an interesting stretch of games.
Yes.
Then they come home and they play 1:00 games against the Bungles and the Ratbirds and the Chargers again. Now that Chargers game, interesting. That was about the same time that they played them 2 years ago when we were infested with those midgets. So
enjoy
along the Lake Erie shore. Then they get that nice week 10 bye week. That's awesome. That's really we'll have 9 games under our belt, and that'll be great.
So that's perfect.
Absolutely. The Saints, like you said, we go there at 1:00. Then we have night games. We have primetime games. It's a Thursday night game, a home against the Squealers right before Thanksgiving on November 21st.
Yeah.
Is that right before Thanksgiving? Or no, Thanksgiving is actually
the 28th. It's late this year.
Yes, so that's not okay. So and then the next game we won't have until after Thanksgiving, and again it's a Monday night game at the Denver Broncos on December 2nd. Oh wow, so that'll be the Brownies will have a home game against the Squealers before Thanksgiving.
Right.
And then they will go out to Denver to play a Monday night game after Thanksgiving. So they'll have a nice stretch. They can hang out with their families, get a good meal. But then they return the next week on a 1:00 game against the Squealers. They come home and play the Chiefs at 1:00. I wonder if there will be any flex scheduling with those games, like the Chiefs game, late in the season, December 15th, if that game would get flexed.
Could be.
Now, I've heard a little bit about these. Did you hear earlier in the news about the Netflix now buying the rights to the Christmas games? They will have both the Bungles and the Ravens, I think, that day. I'm at a loss. It's frustrating, especially, people now will.
What, the Christmas Day games?
Yes.
Steve hosting the Chiefs is one.
Oh, that's game. Right. Right. That's right. So that'll be interesting. But then they finish up against the Bengals, at the Bengals, and at the Ravens. So again, those are 2 away games against our AFC North opponents. So finishing actually all 3 games at Pittsburgh, at Cincinnati, at Baltimore. So again, like you were talking about the Squealers fans being pissed off or,
Yeah, they're not happy. Their schedule, they don't, they start 3 of the first 4 on the road. And they don't play the first AFC North team until I think week 11. So their schedule is backloaded, like the Browns' schedule last year was front loaded.
So we're not really upset about that, but
we're not.
We play Baltimore and Cincinnati in the first part of the season in like weeks 8 and 9,
7 and 8,
or 7 and 8. Okay. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. No, it's going to be tough. I mean, you look at those last 5 and it is a tough, you think about every divisional foe plus the Chiefs and the Dolphins, 2 teams that were in the AFC Championship not too long ago, right? Didn't they play in the AFC Championship?
Yeah. Yeah. Then 4 primetime games in the last 7.
It's interesting that they're doing that with the Brownies. You think about
I know.
it. The risk there is interesting because the Browns typically, might start out with a bang, and they had a really good year last year, but it took some Joe Flacco mania to get them across the finish line. And if Deshaun Watson gets injured again or anything happens to him, that would certainly change, the NFL's how they perceive things with the Brownies.
Well, Peter.
What did you say there, Steve?
Let's hope he didn't.
I know. I think it's one of the bigger things that it's just like, we certainly don't want that to happen to him. I'm definitely not. No.
Right now,
man.
I'm trying to find the Ravens schedule. I have not seen a complete Ravens schedule yet.
Okay. Still kind of going through here. Let's go ahead and pause for a quick commercial break. This is the Fanatical Elves Show. This is the Browns release show schedule, and we'll be right back here on the Fanatical Elves. Oh, and we're back. Hope you enjoyed those tantalizing commercials.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Well, thank you folks for following us again on Apple, on Spotify. That's really where, I don't know about you, Steve, but every morning, I have my phone, turn it on, and the Fanatical Elves podcast pops up on the front of my phone saying there's a new episode. Lou Marconi's got his Burning River Browns chats in the morning. You can tune into those every day. Great start to your morning just to kind of review what's going to happen. I know Lou's going to be on his own show later on in about an hour on his the video portion of his show. The audio will be dropping tomorrow morning, so catch that here in a little bit. We're going to have our Fanatical Elves show again tomorrow night, where Steve here and others on our team will be looking at this schedule a little bit more closely and breaking it down, analyzing some things here and there, what we can look forward to, players and all of that, the teams, coaches that we're going to be going up against. I was hearing some interesting stories. Aaron Rodgers, man, he just annoys the hell out of me. He's annoying me more and more every day as they give him time to talk. He should stop opening his damn mouth. But
no, he's not going
for some reason, of course, it's the New York media. They're putting the Jets on, I think, I heard 6 or 7 primetime games, which is
357 times. It feels
That's
like
what it seems like. Yeah, it's almost like watching. I'm sorry, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever now are on every game on ESPN. And Caitlin Clark got her start, a little rough start for her. She had 20 points and such, but if you watch the game, and I did watch the game, I wanted people to know. I know I've been a little critical of Caitlin Clark. I think she's a great ball player, but she's got a lot to learn. She's not, obviously it's what the WNBA wants and needs to draw fans and money and attention to grow their product, but she has a lot of learning to do. There are a lot of great WNBA players that have come before her and were playing yesterday in games. And if you've watched, and maybe you've never watched the WNBA, but it is a really good product, and hopefully Caitlin will be able to help that. But she was a little, I don't know if you follow basketball much, Steve, but I've said on my podcast,
yes, I do.
A little bit. It's annoying because
I went to an SEC school.
And you did, Vanderbilt.
In the SEC,
absolutely.
It's football.
Yes.
Men's basketball.
Yes.
Women's basketball and baseball. Those are your big 4.
So with that in mind, I just think here I was trying to do something all right. It's just one of those things where there've been a lot of really good players. By the way, it was really kind of it's such an interesting dynamic, and we're not talking about basketball tonight, but some of the promos and the commercials that the WA is promoting, it's just like mixed. There's mixed messages constantly, And so I don't know what exactly they're trying to do, because in American society, we've always had issues with, I don't know, like growing sports, especially on the women's side of things. And as while it's grown and it's increasing, it's just, I was a little bit taken aback by some of the things that I saw. I'm not going to get into it because I probably makes a lot of people that might be watching right now upset, so or listening. But I hope Caitlin Clark can help. They had a full house there in Connecticut, the Connecticut Sun. They said it was a sellout. Did you see that they were selling tickets for $120 per seat there, and then the next game that the Connecticut Sun have, the tickets are like $17. So
yeah,
it's
like, good. I mean, they deserve it. I mean,
hopefully it generates some money.
Deserves.
Yeah.
Okay, the Ravens.
Right. You find one?
They play their first divisional game week 5, Cincinnati.
Okay.
They go a stretch. Their other 5 divisional games come over the final 10 games.
Yeah.
Including weeks 8 through 11 when they play each.
Okay.
They have a really, really late bye week. Week 14.
Oh, wow.
So the Bengals get a week 5 bye week, and the Ravens get a week 14.
So the Bungles get what we got last year.
And they are playing on Christmas. Baltimore and Pittsburgh are both playing on Christmas.
Okay.
So
week 1 are the Chiefs at the Ratbirds?
No, the Ravens are at the Chiefs.
Okay.
Because the Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
Okay. And then the next week, the Chiefs travel down to Cincinnati. Is that right?
Let me look.
I think that's right.
No, so they don't. They go Raiders, Dallas, Buffalo, then Cincinnati week 5.
Okay. Okay, we are live right now.
Yes, we're scrambling right now.
But we're not showing any live footage. I just want everybody to know that.
No, we're not.
No. Johnny Cleveland here got in trouble with the NFL. Got my hand slapped. Oh, and we got a guest watching us tonight. Thank you, Mr. Bobby Jewell. Bobby is a fellow coworker. Thank you, Bobby, for showing up. I appreciate the effort. We'll try to continue to provide some entertainment while I try to spit words out of my mouth. All right, so you look at games like at the end of the season, this Sunday night game. You think about the Miami Dolphins coming to town. Hot weather town coming in December. Right now, you look at that game and you're like, okay, Browns got a lock on it, right? Because we're playing the Dolphins, and the Dolphins usually fade by week 17, or they like last year. Steve's got a reaction. He might be seeing something about.
All right, I just pulled up the Steelers schedule.
Yes.
They do play 3 out of their first 4 on the road. At Falcons, at Broncos, host Chargers, at Colts. Bye week 9. First AFC North team is week 11.
Yeah.
They host the Ravens.
Yeah.
Then they're at the Browns, at the Bengals, host the Browns, and here's the killer for the Steelers.
Yeah.
Last 4 games. At the Eagles, at the Ravens, host the Chiefs on Christmas.
Yeah.
And then host the Bengals last game of the season.
See, and those are all, I mean, we're all going to be vying at that point of the season. That's
a killer last 4 weeks.
Well, you look at our last 4, though.
At Eagles, at Ravens, host the Chiefs.
Yeah, but ours is a little bit like that, right? I mean, the last 5.
Yeah, you got Chiefs, Bengals, Dolphins, Ravens. So, yeah.
I mean, finishing at Bungles and at the Ratbirds with the Dolphins and the Chiefs mixed in and the Squealers. I mean, yeah, I mean it's and by the way, we're playing Squealers in week 12 and in week 14. So we go Squealers, Broncos, back to the Squealers. It's almost like that.
At least there's a little game in between. So, it's not like when they did Baltimore bye week Baltimore.
Right, and we get that
long years ago.
Didn't we say that the Squealer game is a week before Thanksgiving?
Right.
And then the Broncos game is the Monday after Thanksgiving. So there's a long stretch there between November 21st and December 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's a nice little break.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, it's
kind of like a mini bye there between weeks 12 and 13 after you come off a bye on week 10. So I like it.
The strength
both the Steelers and the Browns get mid-season bye week. Cincinnati gets theirs at 5, and Ravens gets theirs late at 14.
Yeah. This strength of schedule thing came out the other day too, and obviously we're number one in strength of schedule with our opponents at a 547 clip. The Ratbirds and the Squealers come in second and third.
Yeah.
Cincinnati ends up, falling a little bit further. What did you find the Cincinnati Bungles schedule yet? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I looked at it.
Okay. Who do they have on their schedule that's not like that are cupcakes? Because their strength of schedule is far less than the Brownies.
They finished last.
So they get the
three out of the teams they play also finished last. So
okay.
That's where their strength of schedule goes down. So
Gotcha. Well, we're going to have more tomorrow night. We're going to be back. Steve and I will be breaking it down, but the Browns have released their schedule. The good news is that they have a schedule.
They also have put out a video. Go to the official Twitter page. Okay. It looks interesting. As soon as we hang up, I'm going to watch it.
Excellent.
Of course, the Tennessee Titans redid their drunk on the street in downtown Nashville, like they did last year. They brought back one of the stars of that little humorous. But by the way, if you looked at last year's schedule release for the Titans, if you live in Nashville, that's why we don't go downtown. Those people are the reason we don't go downtown unless we absolutely have to.
Right. Well, I just found that video you were talking about, so we'll have to watch it when we get off air.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Steve, final thoughts before we let everybody go and say goodbye.
I like the 4 primetime games. Finally back on Sunday Night Football. I love the Week 10 bye. I love they get a home opener, and they don't go on the West Coast back-to-back.
No.
Those 2 games are divided up, Week 4 at Raiders, and then you got all the way down to Week 13 at the Broncos.
Okay, yeah, they are. That's good.
Toughest early game is at Eagles, and your season's going to be defined in your last 7 weeks. And that's all you can ask.
Right. No, I agree. I think, we got the season ahead of us now. We've got a little less than 4 months to go before the season starts. By the way, did you see Deshaun Watson's tattoos?
No, I did.
He added some additional tattoos to his back. I didn't see the whole thing, but someone said that he has a spot available like when he wins the Super Bowl. So he left that blank or something on his backside. So there you go. It's going to happen. No, I think LeBron's going to come back to Cleveland. I think the Browns win the World Series. The Browns win the Super Bowl. The Guards are going to win this World Series. What else can I jumble up? My God.
Oh, John. And Ohio State will win the national championship.
Well, yeah. I get so annoyed at this time of the year with the college game, and you see all these kids in basketball and the portal. I mean, there's no loyalty anymore and I know it's all about money and the dollar and these kids, I'm happy that they're making bazillions of dollars, but I don't know. It just seems like it's watered down everything. Just not interested in these games as I was. But
okay, everybody, that was John giving his best imitation of "Get Off of My Lawn."
Yeah, my cranky Johnny Cleveland. All right, folks.
Are you going to go out tomorrow and yell at clouds?
Yes, yeah. And then you start hearing stories. Have you heard these stories about people making clouds now in the government? All these conspiracy theories and people generating weather. I'm telling you, the world is just one big, interesting mess.
I live in a state where the state legislature voted and passed outlawing jets to have chemtrails.
Really? They're outlawing that?
Yes.
They're not allowing that.
Well, I hate to tell them this, but ain't gonna work. My tax dollars at work. Kind of like the Cleveland City Council, and they're going to screw up this stadium thing.
That's just strange.
No, that's par for the course.
Oh my. Well, we have a lot to talk about tomorrow. I'll let you dissect the schedule a little bit more. We're going to have the whole gang, I think. It sounds like Jarrell will be back. We'll have Sam. Awesome. Lou will be here. You'll be here. I'll be here. Rod Bloom, I think, is somewhere in an undisclosed location, though. If you follow Rod,
he's not here.
Social
he's not
media,
here.
You can see where he's at. He's traveling. He's getting a nice suntan. So congratulations, Rod. We are jealous. And then who else am I missing? Noah Olson. I haven't heard from Noah this week. I'm sure he's
a little busy tonight.
Yeah, with the East Bank Sports Show, and then he also helps with the Cavaliers folks. So he is probably tied up. And Lou. So Lou will be here. Lou will have his show on in about an hour. So if you want to catch us here on the Fanatical Elves again,
he'll probably break down the schedule as well tonight. Yep. So
I wish I could be like Lou. Lou was wearing last night on his show. He informed his fans that he had just come from the gym, and that he didn't want to change, so he was still wearing his what do you call it? The tank top. I'm like, I wish I could wear a tank top like Lou does. Now Lou is an ex-pro wrestler, so I'm a little bit jealous anyway. But congratulations, Lou. Your fans are happy to have you on air, and you bring a great show every morning and every evening. So thanks again for that. Steve, are you coming up with any extra? You got a Dog Pound show coming up this weekend?
Probably do one on Sunday if I can.
Okay.
Then as the season starts, I'll go back to my regular Monday schedule.
Yep. That'll be good. We're just excited to get the season. We're going to be covering you over this summer, the training camps, and I will say this: the momentum building to that Dallas Cowboys Week 1 game is going to be tremendous. It reminds me a little bit of going into that Week 1 of the season in 2021 when we opened up against the Chiefs. Yeah. Interested to see what.
And then we're going to sprinkle a little Tom Brady on top of that.
Yeah, Tom Brady. You'll get to watch. I'll be in the stadium, so I won't be able to catch what Tom Brady's like as a commentator. I'm sure he'll do a great job. But we'll see. All right, Steve is frozen. Now he's unfrozen. Now he's frozen. If you're watching this live, Steve is coming from an undisclosed location. Thank you to the 593 of you who have tuned in and watched us for a split second. Thank you, Bobby Jewell. Appreciate you commenting, and we will catch up with everybody tomorrow night. We'll be coming on about 8 o'clock Eastern, bringing you all the latest, probably about 8:30. Between 8:15 and 8:30, we'll be coming on live. So until then, I'll see you later, Steve. Take care. Browns released their schedule. Go Brownies!
Go Browns!
All right, we got to find our closing, our music. Here we go. Bye, folks.